WrestleMania 42 has been pulled from the city of New Orleans, Louisiana, and we've got at least two of the reasons why. Hello there, my very good friends. I'm Andy from WhatCulture. This is the news. And hey, when you see a news video popping up at a time of day that isn't your regular slots, you probably think, what the hell's going on? Well, this is a big story, so we're here to cover the whole thing. Now, this is a bit of a bombshell. WrestleMania 42, as announced by The Rock, you know that guy, back in February, was supposed to be taking place in New Orleans. We were going under the assumption that this was the case for about 2 months, obviously, 3 months even. Now it is off. WrestleNomics broke this bombshell scoop earlier today. They sourced a statement from the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. That is an official local organization. It's not just some guy online making stuff up. So instead of hosting WrestleMania, next year, New Orleans is getting Money in the Bank. Interesting compromise, but also they will be getting WrestleMania in another year as well. So really, they haven't just scrapped the idea of Mania in NOLA. They have just postponed it a year or 2 years or 3 years. Who the heck knows? Key to this, I'll just read you the statement, will I? Here's the statement from that organization. The Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation and New Orleans and Company are working closely with our friends at TKO, that's WWE's parent company, to expand our long-standing partnership, which will include UFC 318 on July the 19th, Money in the Bank in 2026, and WrestleMania, which will move from the currently scheduled 2026 timeframe to a future year. Now, there is currently no word on where WrestleMania 42 is going to go. We will talk about that a bit later in the video, and we'll just speculate. Let's spitball some ideas for WrestleMania 42. Cities that would be cool to host the grandest stage of them all. But we do have an interesting bit of insight on why this has happened from Andrew Badala. He tweeted this in the middle of doing the AEW media call for Double or Nothing, so good on Andrew. Us bald Andys have to stick together and all that. But he tweeted the following. I'm just going to read you the exact words. It seems this information was known internally but not made public, which is the status quo. The event in New Orleans has been moved due to a new significant bid and other significant issues. WWE is scheduled to hold a PLE in New Orleans in 2026 and is committed to hosting a WrestleMania in the near future. So similar to the statement there about Money in the Bank and WrestleMania going there going to New Orleans in the future. New Orleans. Sorry, my pronunciation. I've said it about 7 different ways on this video. What the hell's going on? It's crazy. I can't make sense of this situation. But those two comments on why are very interesting. A new significant bid, number one, and other significant issues. Obviously, we don't know what those other significant issues are. Maybe Nick Khan put on a crowbar or a corrosion of conformity record and went, "This isn't for me, New Orleans. I'm getting out of here." Nick Khan is not for the acid bath reunion, my friends. Which would put him as a man of very poor taste. However, no word on what those other significant issues are. But the significant bid part is interesting because for those of you who maybe don't keep track of the business side as much, maybe you're not as interested in that, what happens is that these days we basically have bidding wars almost for WWE pay-per live premium events. What happens is that cities and local authorities will go, "Hello WWE, we will give you X amount of money if you hold your big stupendous event in our city." Other cities can then go, we'll give you 1 million more or whatever. These things are called site fees, and they are a much prioritized part of WWE's revenue. They're an important revenue stream for the promotion these days. Not as big as TV or anything like that, but they go after them. In fact, and TKO, the Shapiro fella, apologies, I forgot your forename, from TKO, was speaking about this just the other week at the Upstarts and their importance and how they're chasing them. For context, right, WWE received $5 million from the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority for WrestleMania 41, which was 6 weeks ago, four weeks ago, whatever. Can't do math, I'm stupid. So beyond guesswork. Whatever happens next is kind of unknown at the time of recording. Fightful Select do have an update on everything. They report that even WWE employees, staff, and wrestlers were shocked by the announcement. Although wrestlers specifically, talents specifically, were largely unfazed by it. Several wrestlers that the outlet spoke to said actually they hadn't even began thinking about WrestleMania 42 yet. And in fact, it's not a massive deal for them because the company typically arranges their travel and stuff for Mania. So, it's not much upheaval for them. Who it is upheaval for, that's a terrible sentence, but other people within the industry. This has a bit of a knock-on effect, right? So according to Fightful, there was a sense of immediate frustration with sources indicating that the WrestleCon, for one, which is a big convention held over WrestleMania weekend, 3-4 days. It's awesome. It's where we interviewed like MXM Collection, Brody King, Danhausen, all those are on the channel. Lots of great stuff. Lots of great stuff out there. Ernest the Cat Miller, shout-outs. We got Almost going up tomorrow, my guy. I love him. But yeah, apparently they already signed a venue contract for a place in New Orleans. And now the show's not happening in New Orleans. So yeah, I can see why they'd be like, oh no, what do we do here? That's probably for them to figure out at the end of the day. But yeah, it's a shame. And apparently a bunch of other companies are now working hard. They are trying to figure out where the heck WrestleMania 42 is going to be. So it's not going to be in New Orleans. That's a shame. I was looking forward to visiting New Orleans. Heard it's great. Heard the food's great. Heard the culture's great. Know the music's great. But yeah, it's kind of a shame. But look, we'll just have to see where it goes next. You guys ready to do a bit of speculation? Rampant, wild, out of control, based on nothing at all? Speculation. London. That's what I think London. I think London, the mayor, has made this significant bid. He has taken 6 million or whatever of his British pounds and gone, hello, Governor Nick Khan, would you like some money to bring your event to Wembley Stadium? I would not be surprised at all. John Cena, remember, not so long ago, was like, we will bring it to London. And that hasn't happened yet. I mean, it was, a year and a half ago? It wasn't that long ago. Pretty insignificant amount of time, and really, when you think about it. But it adds up in a lot of ways. There's been speculation about this for ages. It's one of the biggest cities in Europe. Huge wrestling fan base in the UK. Internationally, where else would make sense for the first big... there's loads of places that would make sense, let's be honest. I just think it would work really well. The infrastructure's there. We know that big events work in the Wembley setting because, well, number one, it's a big stadium. That's what it was built for. But number two, obviously, AEW held All In there 2 years in a row. So it's like they're, okay, just, copy the blueprint, take the blueprint. And WWE will obviously have their own ways of doing things. But it also would not surprise me if it was like another major United States city, right? A city like Chicago, for example, hasn't had a WrestleMania in forever long. Have they ever had one? I can't remember. I don't have a brain that works. There's all kinds of cool places you go. Now, I know, thinking of Chicago specifically, I know one of the things coming out of the Philly Mania 40 was that it was too cold. And the Nick Khan and the regime were considering maybe warmer places. So if you're going to a place that's literally called the Windy City, that would go against that. However, if they're paying more money, they probably won't care. I won't care. Just wear a jacket. It's fine. Wear a coat. Well, it's nice to be able to walk to the stadium wearing shorts in Las Vegas. But hey, I'll just wear a coat. It's fine. I'm from Scotland. I'm used to it. I've got no hair on my head. I'm always cold. It's okay. It's not a problem. I'm sure there are... Literally just name a major city in the US. They've all got big-ass sporting arenas. They've all got crazy state-of-the-art stadiums. Well, some of them are more state-of-the-art than the others. There's a plethora of options. If you're thinking places like Europe, well, they've just done a show in Berlin. Maybe they book the Olympia Stadion. That's a huge building. I don't know. Maybe they book somewhere else. Or maybe we go to Madrid. Maybe we go to Paris. Why not? There's plenty of big arenas there. They're going back there next year already. This year, sorry. So maybe that wouldn't make a whole... No, they've already been. I'm all over the place. You know when one of these big stories drops, it just, my fried egg brain just goes a bit nuts when it comes to this stuff. But hey, look, this is a big story. It's the location of WrestleMania. New Orleans looked locked in. Although was it really locked in? Because there were, beyond The Rock's announcement, there really wasn't a whole lot out there. So maybe it was a case of these significant issues that Andrew Badela reported on were at the back of their minds, perhaps, and we're speculating. This is the speculation hour of the show, my friends. Maybe they were at the back of their mind and they were a bit reticent to promote it any further after The Rock's announcement. And then maybe this other city swept in and went, hey, we'll give you more money than New Orleans. That seems to be what's happened to me. That's what I think. Is London the front runner? You guys let me know in the comment section below. Maybe you want it to come to your town. I mean, I'm from Aberdeen, Scotland. It's not going there. It'd be cool if it did, but it's simply not. The seagulls in Pittodrie Stadium would have the wrestlers' lives. It would be an absolute bloodbath. You'd need a PG, NC-17 rating for the kind of violence the Aberdeen Seagulls cause. Is that even still a rating? 18 plus X, Y, Z? I have no idea. I have no idea, folks. And at this stage in the video, I'm just talking pish and rambling. So let me know in the comment section what you think of all of this. Are you disappointed it's not going to be in New Orleans? Where do you want it to go? Are you from London? Do you want it to be in London? Are you from Chicago? Are you from Seattle? Are you from Portland? Are you from wherever the heck? Let me know in the comment section below, everybody. Let's get some good discussion going. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, me and Adam, with a big up. Well, I assume we'll have updates on this. It feels like more information is going to come out soon. It's a big story. Big story. And big stories tend to develop. Check out this video here. We shot this one this morning, myself and Michael Hamflett. Plenty of news in there. You have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.